How's it going, Lewis?
I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Good, good. How's your week going so far? What have you been up to?
I've been busy. Been real busy. Talking to teams, physicals, and all the other stuff. You know, keeps you busy.
So we've seen you on some different boards. I got to ask you, though. I know Kirby was lobbying to get you to come back another year. The last time we saw you, the day after the title game. How close was it, and what ultimately led you to decide to go pro rather than come back another year?
Well, I talked over it with family and mentors and friends, and we all came to the conclusion that it was the best move for me. And I love Kirby to death, but to this point, I got to think about my family.
So we'll see Coach Muschamp and Schumann now as the co-D coordinators. How do you think that's going to work out, and what could be different from when Coach Lanning was the D coordinator, maybe?
I don't think much is going to change really, because with them two, the defense is in good hands really. They know everything about the checks, about everything about the defense, and they're in real good hands really.
Jordan Davis told me this week that your defense was called the no-name defense.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you guys saw yourselves despite all the stardom?
Yeah, no guy was too big for the whole team really. That's what it meant. Where we're all working as a unit. No guy is above any of the others really.
Who coined that term?
I don't know. It's just. It probably was Coach Smart or Coach Lanning.
Yeah.
That came up with that.
How does that translate to the next level where you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of playmakers?
Well, I just hope in different teams there's a whole lot of personalities. So you just hope a lot of guys, know what the main goal is, and put their emotions, their egos, or all the other stuff behind them.
Lewis, before Coach Lanning started using that no-name defense at the Baylor game, I guess your freshman year, there weren't a lot of Georgia guys that were making All-SEC, and yet there were so many guys in the NFL. Do you think it took beating Alabama for you guys to finally kind of get on the map and start getting all that sort of recognition that we saw this year?
No. I mean, the only reason I would say no is because before we played Bama, we're already doing good as a defense. We're already making plays. We already had a name for ourselves in terms of, what type of defense we bring forward. So I don't think so. But it's just winning against Bama was just a cherry on top.
I guess I would ask you about this. I mean, a lot of players are defined by certain plays. That hit on Pitts, do you get asked about that still by some of the NFL teams, or do you still see that highlight pop up in your Twitter timeline or on your social media?
You'll see it from time to time, and not a lot of, I get asked about it, but I just throw it to the side, really. That was the pass.
What's it going to take for Georgia to stay on top of Alabama after finally getting over that hump?
I think Georgia has a great blueprint going forward. They had a great recruiting class. Kirby knows what it takes, and he's just going to do the same thing that led up to winning the Natty, really.
What was it like defending Jermaine Burton in practices now at Alabama?
Man, Jermaine is a problem. Kudos to Alabama for winning him over because they're getting one heck of a player. I'm not a Bama fan, but I am a Jermaine Burton's fan, and Jermaine's going to be one heck of a player for them.
What was the reaction among your teammates when he transferred right after the title?
We love Jermaine, and we know he's just making the best decision for him and his family, and which he did, and we're all in support of him now. When he plays UGA, if we get to play them, now it's like, I'm still a Jermaine fan, but hey, I want Georgia to win.
Lewis, tell us more about your journey from Massachusetts to Texas to Georgia and your parents' backgrounds.
Well, I came to the States around 4 and off a visa. Visa, you got to travel back and forth. I didn't really permanently move to the States until 8. I lived in Florida throughout that whole time. And I moved to Boston at 8, around the time Obama became president. And that's where I grew up really until the end of my junior year, and then I moved to Texas for a year of football, and did a whole season there and learned a whole lot, met a whole lot of cool people, and then made the transition to Georgia.
look at high school football there in Texas, is that like an eye opener? Like, man, they take it seriously now.
Oh yeah, dude, it's like a religion down there, dude. It's a yearly thing, from winter all the way back to the start of the season. It's football, 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 and I thought that I took advantage of it in terms of going there to honing in my skills and learn and practice football year round.
Lewis, how would you describe your play style?
People think of me as just a hitter. I don't think myself as just a hitter. I see myself as an all-around playmaker. I show up when I'm needed, and I'm always around the ball. So I would just say all-around playmaker.
How would you describe Dan Lanning as a coach?
Dan Lenning's a great person, great coach. He's real hands-on, and he'll teach you the way best suits you as a player. So, I was real stoked when he got the head coaching job. We know as in coaching, head coach is what a lot of guys want to be. And the fact that he's a head coach, I'm real stoked for him, real happy for him, and I hope it continues to just go up from there.
What the simulated pressure that you guys ran for your role, for safety role, describe what that's like pre-snap and the simulated, the way that was implemented for you guys the last couple of years with simulated pressure.
Well, I can't say too much in terms of our simulated defense. Coaches, everyone else are going to have to do their own studies on that. So, yeah.
Lewis, you mentioned the hard hitting. Sometimes that gets pigeonholed as maybe you're only a strong safety. Why are you comfortable playing in the deeper parts of the field, the split safety or the deep man?
Well, for one, I think that I'm a smart player. I can get guys lined up. When guys are wrong, I can make them right. And the fact that I have depth to do that, is like a stress reliever in a way for me. And I also can make plays. I got range, I'm fast, and I can come from top down extremely fast. So I think that's why.
Do you think there's anything you need to do here in terms of numbers to maybe further validate that for teams in terms of speed and change of direction, anything like that?
Teams are well aware what they're getting with me.
Yeah.
They just numbers. I've always been a good testing guy, so that's never been a big issue for me, and I'm sure a lot of them know that too.
Lewis, can you break down some of the guys that are going to be stepping into your spot at Georgia now that you're in the NFL?
Yeah. There's a whole lot of young talent there, but one person I know you guys should really watch out for, Chris Smith and Tyke Smith. Chris has been the leader. I played with Chris. I have full faith in Chris and his abilities, leadership style. Tyke, unfortunately, last year got hurt, but seeing him for that short period of time, Tyke is special, and you guys are going to get to see that.
What
You've
stood
got
out
yourself a
from-
lot. Can you give us one game that you could show at NFL head coach that would justify you being drafted high? Just one game.
Championship game, Natty.
And in that natty, just what stood out about Alabama's Ja'Cory Brooks, number 7, their wide receiver?
Honestly, I wasn't really focused on one particular person. As you know, Jameson is was a big part of their offense. Jameson went down, so now it's like, okay, our focus is kind of changed on just play defense in terms of not really want to focus on one guy or the other. So I didn't really pay too much attention to it.
Lewis, can you give us your perspective on the Ringo pick six from being on the field, and what do you think Kirby would have got on the vertical on that sideline?
Kirby has bunnies, man. Buddy can jump. But I'm happy that Keely, sealed the win for us, really. And Keely will go down in Georgia history as being a legend for doing so. And it's only going up for him in terms of how he's going to play, the type of leader he's going to be, and what he's going to do for UGA.
Sometimes the draft process might be overwhelming to guys. How have you been able to handle the draft process?
Really, I'm used to pressure. Pressure is, a lot of people think pressure is a bad thing. I see pressure as a good thing. That means things are expected of you. So I will deliver in those scenarios, and I've prepared to deliver.
Have you met with the Pittsburgh Steelers at all, whether formally or informally this week?
Yes, I have.
Who else have
How
you
did
met
that
with?
meeting go?
How'd the meeting go, you said?
Yeah.
Well, the meeting went well. I got good vibes from the coaching staff, from head coach, GM, from everyone, really.
Just one more follow-up question. Can you take me through that play in the first Alabama game where you came from like center field all the way down on Brian Robinson? So run play to the left, you laid a big hit on him.
Was this first game of playing them or second game of playing them?
game.
First game, but it's just setting the tone, really. Just letting them know, hey, man, like, you're not just going to run the ball down our throat. Like, you're going to have to get them yards the hard way, one way or another. So it's just making sure they know the tone and what type of game it was going to be.
What was the key to slowing down Bryce Young in that second game?
Really taking out his main producers. So a lot of his producers, well, let's keep it straight, a lot of his producers went down. So it made it hard. A lot of younger guys had to step up. And we knew that we had to make those younger guys beat us and put pressure on them, rattle them up a bit.
Lewis, how hands-on was Coach Muschamp with the safeties last season?
Really, really hands-on. Coach Muschamp helped me a whole lot. Even till this whole combine process and everything, he was really the guy that I watched film with and broke down the X's and O's in football. And he was really in my ear in terms of technique, in terms of, giving me, nuggets in my toolbox where I'd be able to use them.
When did it Dallas? Have you spoken to Dallas?
Have I spoken to Dallas Cowboys?
Yes.
No, not yet.
When did it hit you that you actually won a national title?
What'd you say, sir?
When did it hit you that you'd actually won a national title?
I don't think it's still gonna hit me until I get that ring on my finger. then it's official. It's like it's written in paper. Like, yeah, I won something. You know what I mean? Until then, it still hasn't hit me yet.
When were you sized for them? Have you been sized?
Yeah, we've been sized. I don't know what the ring looks like yet. I hope it's a big fat ring. I mean, they did it in 40 years, so they had to go big. We have to go big. So yeah.
Lewis, you mentioned Coach Muschamp. Just what's kind of it been like talking to him through this process as well? And you mentioned that he's kind of helped you through the process.
Coach Muschamp is not just a coach for me. He's a friend to me also, and a mentor, a guy that I look up to. I have a lot of respect for. And he's giving me pointers, tips, do's and don'ts, how to approach things. I mean, look at my hair. It's up, and it's because of him. He told me to put my hair up, be professional and everything. So I know that Coach Muschamp wants the best for me.
He told you that about coming to the combine? Talking about the hair?
Oh, yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you played high school ball with Isaiah Likely and Carlos Patel, right?
Yes, I did.
What do you remember about playing with those guys at Everett?
That year was the most spectacular year of football, high school football, really. We had a whole lot of talent, and we bonded and became a brotherhood, really. And the fact that all of us went to the college level and did what we did is special.
Did you get to catch up with Carlins at all after the South Carolina?
Yeah, me and Carlin still catch up. Me and Isaiah, all of us are still tight.
I was gonna say, what's it like to be all here together as well, going through the combine stuff?
When I was still training, I think tight ends came first.
Yeah.
I asked, hey, bro, what am I supposed to be expecting? What's the vibe like? Just ask him to pick his mind.
Yeah.
And he, he kept it honest with me, and that's my best friend.
Lewis, Darnell Washington's back with the team. What can he bring? Did you spend some time with him last summer?
Yeah. I competed with Darnell a whole lot, man. Darnell made me better. He brings size, violence, he's athletic, he's smart. Dude, Darnell's a mismatch. And that's why I'm happy he was on my team and not against.
I was going to say,
time for two more.
I misspoke. I meant Enrique Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Yeah.
Well, Gilbert worked with us for the summer, and we got to see a whole lot of him. It was unfortunate he wasn't able to play with us due to personal issues, but now, we're real stoked that he's back with us.
As far as leadership
Last
goes,
question.
What's your leadership style? Are you a rah-rah guy? Are you a lead by example, quiet guy? How do you tend to approach being a leader?
I don't believe in lip service. I believe in action. If I say something, I want to show it in action, and then you'll believe me.
Great. Thanks, Lewis.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.